As the first humans to ever venture out this far into the frontier.
Too fast! Sensitive poison damage.
Get out!
I thought we were both goners.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and welcome to the 15th episode of My Planet Explorers version 0.72 Let's Play. During the previous episode, we traveled with Tariq to find the Martian camp, where we talked to Sarah and Nan. Sarah is the local plant expert, and she wants to find out if Earth plants are compatible with Maria. And then Nan seems to be the tech guy, and he had all kinds of goodies on him to where we could tech up our armor and, well, not really our gear. We didn't get any new tools or anything, but we did get a new set of armor, so that was good. Also, the local sentient species kidnapped a couple of these guys at their camp, so our next mission is to head off and go rescue them. So as you can see here, I'm checking out my scanner, and I'm really kind of get a bearing on where the gold is located. Because what I'm going to do to kick this episode off is I'm going to dig out the area where the gold is located so that I can mine it later on when I really need it. This is the only place that I really know where the gold is, and since we're here and we're pretty much on top of it, it's almost nighttime. So I think this is a good opportune moment to kind of dig down, and we're going to create a little bit of a mine shaft to close to the gold. Because we haven't done a ton of mining, I actually need some other stuff, especially graphite. We should be running into graphite as I mine down here towards the gold. We need that, of course, for batteries. We are going to need a few extra battery packs. I don't know exactly how I'm going to manage that, whether I'm going to produce a few, or if I'm going to just opportunistically buy them off the NPCs as I encounter them. Typically, when you buy items off the NPC that they only have one in, once you buy them, they'll never have them again. So it's always a good idea to have the ability to craft some of these items. Now, I don't know whether this is a feature of the game or if it's a bug, because there are some items that you cannot get as of yet in the world of Maria, particularly salt. You can only buy salt from Grady. So she has a stack of 99 salt. As long as you don't purchase all 99 units of that salt, she'll always have it. When you can go back to her later, she'll have a full supply. However, if you buy all 99 units, she'll never have the salt again. For a resource that you can only acquire through an NPC, that's a very, very bad thing. I can't imagine that's a feature. That's got to be a bug. So it makes me kind of question also, like, the one pieces of, like, say, armor that I just bought off of Nan, if they were intended to come back. Because later on, if we have a crew, you have to craft the items to actually fit them with the gear. If you could just buy them, I mean, it would make it easier. Although, personally, I like to craft everything, and I just like to have all the crafting recipes for everything, but that's just me. Although, technically, there are 2 locations you can actually buy all these things. The other one, I don't agree with, and I ignore it, and I pretend it doesn't exist, but there is the global market that allows you to open up and buy anything at any time. I'm really, really hoping that they remove this feature from Storyline, because I don't want to have that temptation to, you know, grab that for whatever, the progression, because I think it kind of ruins it. Now, admittedly, as a new player, you're not probably aware of that thing. You probably wouldn't become aware of it until maybe you accidentally hit the key like I did in the base building mode. But still, when you load a brand new game and then you hit that key, you're like, oh, come on, guys. No, 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 no. So I think it would be awesome if the developers remove that from story mode. Now, I can understand why this is in adventure mode. Like, that kind of makes sense in adventure mode, but also kind of not, because you start off with a kit of pretty much every recipe of everything, so why would you need to open the market, unless they don't have NPCs with like particular items like I just mentioned, where you can only get salt with Grady. I mean, I guess I can see where that could be, I don't know, something of a good thing, I guess. But personally, I like the progression. I like the, you know, I don't want to have the I win button. It feels like an I win button. It's like, well, I have everything at my fingertips. All I need to do is make sure I have enough meat, and I can have anything I want in the game. So when I'm supposed to be using a you know, low-level weapon like a sword, I can just pull out a battery and high-tech laser blaster and just own everything and just win the game. That doesn't sound like fun to me. Anyways, enough talk about the global market. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the world of this Let's Play. So, moving on. So we are actually getting some stuff we need, especially for batteries. We did pull a couple of units of graphite here as we're making our way down. And we're getting some other kind of scattered resources like copper and all that, but technically those aren't in any large quantity in this area. I'm just trying to make the mine shaft down here. We're not going to spend the entire episode doing this. I'm just going to get close to the area where the gold is. Once we get the gold pickaxe, we'll be jamming. It doesn't take long to get through. In fact, a lot of these things will just take one swing. But the iron is close enough. It actually does a pretty good job of getting things out. And you can see I'm kind of methodical the way I dig here. I dig in a very specific way. Now, what I try to do is I don't move from my position, and I try to dig around the area as I'm moving forward, and it makes this perfectly like round tunnel. And then I'll dig down just in front of me to try to create a ramp, and then I'll kind of just slide forward, and I'll keep doing this kind of motion until I hit the area I want. And it makes this perfectly 45-degree angle kind of thing, sliding all the way down to the location of the gold, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. If we had a gold pickaxe, we'd be able to do this a little better, because you can see I'm kind of got like this little stepping thing going on here when I intend to have just a straight 45-degree angle ramp, but I'm also running into other things that are causing trouble for me to actually make that happen. But I think when we get to the point where we do have the gold pickaxe and we're mining for aluminum, we will get that nice clean 45-degree angle straight from our digging point. But yeah, see how I just slid down there? I actually had to step forward, and normally that's not what I want to do. I just want to stand in this one location and mine the area around. And I should be able to slide down every time I dig down in front of me. Now, there's also a third reason we're mining this shaft out too, is we're low on ammo, and we're about to meet up with the sentient creatures, and we saw what happened when we saw the one pretty much wiped out those two Martians. So we're going to need some more bullets, so obviously this is going to help a little bit. We're getting just a little bit of copper. That's not so important, I guess. I mean, most of the materials we need have to do with wood, animal fat, and sulfate, and looks like we got a little bit of wood. We haven't gone crazy chopping down trees and stuff, so we don't have a ton of that. We should have a good bit of animal fat at this point, so making charcoal shouldn't be a big deal. We're getting a little bit of sulfate as we dig down here, and we're getting a couple of sporadic units of copper. And as we know from before, every single unit of copper should net us 7 bullets. Granted, we have the gunpowder, so we should be able to make enough. I don't know. Alright, I'm about to wrap things up here. I think this is pretty much far enough. We'll finish this off with the gold pickaxe. Just take a look here, see how far I've gotten. Getting there. Almost there. There is a crap ton of gold below us, and the good thing is we're really elevated, so we should be able to monopolize on most of that vein if we needed to, but from my experience, we really don't need a ton of it, so there's no sense in going super crazy mining all that stuff out. Maybe with some additions in later versions, there will be more uses for gold, but for now, there isn't. But again, the reason why it's good that it's elevated is because if you dig too far down, close to where the water line is, you'll start running into the water, and that sucks. Let's see how many bullets we can make with the materials we have on hand, because we are going to need them for the upcoming quest. So, of course, we're going to sleep after this. So, looks like I have a little bit more than I thought I did. So, I already had plenty of charcoal on me. Give me a nice chunk of gunpowder. Let's go ahead and just see how many bullets we can make. Not bad. That's not bad. That should be enough to handle the mission. So, I guess that'll work. Alright, so let's go ahead and get inside a tent and sleep in a proper area for once. Because last couple times we slept, we didn't really sleep in an area that had any sort of safety whatsoever. In a camp, it's a little nicer, and we have a little tent here. We can set up our bed. It's kind of a cool thing. I got to get a new bed. But it's kind of funny. I just pull a bed out of my back pocket. Here, just put it down there. Okay, good. Awesome. Now, if I recall correctly, this next quest is rather difficult. So, I better make sure I have enough revival shots on me, because there's a high chance that I'm going to die more than 6 times. 7 times. Somewhere like that, I'm going to die a lot. So be prepared for that. Well, I've got to be prepared for that. All right, let's talk to Tariq. Let's get this party started.
We head northeast.
Heading northeast. That's apparently where the indigenous species camp is located. Or settlement, or whatever it is. Off we go. Unfortunately, we're kind of late in this episode due to all my mining I was doing there for the gold, but it was a necessary thing. We had to do it. We'll have to do it at some point in the Let's Play, so might as well do it on the spot while I'm there. I tend to do things like that, try to streamline things. Okay, so this is a little bit of a ways here, and you kind of can see where it would be nice if we could drive our vehicle around here. We can't do it. I'm just going to close some of these quest tracks now, because I don't want to be having it distract me. Some of these we don't need. I like to have the quest at hand at the top of the quest list, and that's the nice thing. I definitely like the system in here. We can just kind of close the track. We don't have to see it, but we can keep that little open so we can stay focused and know what we're supposed to be doing. Off we go. Gotta babysit Mr. Tariq again, make sure he doesn't get hung up on anything. Now, I wonder if any of these guys we rescue have the better tools. I could have swore the better tools were in this part of the game. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Guess we'll get there when we get there. The terrain in the woods here is pretty rough going. Lots of hills and kind of almost like a mountainous region here. It's a little deceptive when you first come in here. You might think it's like flatland woods, but no, not at all. Because it is a bit of a distance to the next objective, I won't be stopping and cutting down trees like I normally would for these kind of things, because it is a little ways, and I am kind of curious to what these guys might have when we rescue them, so I'm going to get there as fast as possible. Now, there is 3 particular types of plants in the woods that I think I need to gather in order to craft those light blocks. So we're going to need some of those. There are also some special flowers that are only on top of the mushroom rocks, and we'll need to get some of those to make. There's a special type of pigment you need to make the block. And I think to make the pigment we need the baby corn, the special flower that grows on top of the mountains, and the red mushrooms that only kind of be found in the forest. And I think there's something else. So there is some stuff I want to kind of, if I spot them, because they're kind of hard to find. The little red mushrooms are just little teeny tiny things, you know, and you just kind of catch them out of the corner of your eye. And there are some plants in the woods that look like they would be plants that you would collect, but you can't grab them. So that's a little confusing too. So I will try to grab those if I see them, but we're not going to be cutting down any trees. Now, these particular kinds of light blocks, to me, are the best kinds of lights in the game that you can place. Unfortunately, they're blocks. I wish they were lights, kind of like the blue light sticks. But, you know, we haven't seen that. Like, if you notice in the camp when we came in earlier, the things that were lighting up the camp at night during the beginning of this episode, those are the blue light sticks. But they only light up at night. So they're not something you can use in a cave while you're mining. So the only options you have right now in the game are the torches, which die after a period of time, and then these little light block things. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I wish there was more kind of light sources. Even if, you know, you wanted a light source that decayed after a period of time, like sticking a battery in it, which I really am kind of in love with that idea. Not necessarily like we'll see that, but that would be kind of a cool thing. Or you had lights that required your power plant to be operating in order for them to be online and stuff like that. The light sticks kind of just, they're permanent, kind of like the other light block, you know, they're always going to function at night, and there's no kind of source that's going to cause them to go out. The torches, of course, do burn out and they go away. You try to pick them back up, but you actually don't get the wood back for it or whatever, so it's just something that decays, and that's perfect. I like that. I like that kind of thing. Oh, there we go, some red mushrooms. Woohoo! Alright, so we have some of the stuff we need, but we're going to need to collect a bunch of them. Oh, there's that weird dog crab thing. There's so many cool creatures. I say it every time, but yeah, the creatures on this world are cool. I like it. I dig it. Thieves are definitely creative with this one. Well, we've made some somewhat decent progress towards our objective. Unfortunately, we can't see it yet, so we still might have a little bit of travel time during the beginning of the next episode, but it's not like we're going to stop and mine like I did in the beginning of this one, so we should be able to be on top of it relatively quickly in the next episode. But for now, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.